Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for another positive spin. Today we're going to be talking about the much hated Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now, as of this video that I'm doing now, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey has not yet gotten a US release. It has been released through Umbrella on Blu ray, but I kind of wanted to wait until this got a US release because I think they could do something really cool with it. At least I'm hoping that's the case. Now, a lot of people seem to be whining and crying about this film, saying that it ruined their childhood, all this other kind of crap. Just to show that I'm a fair person and I do watch the films, and not every film is perfect. I'm going to tell you a couple things that I actually didn't like about the film, which is not something I normally do on Positive Spin. But just to appease the haters, just so it seems fair, I will um, tell you all a couple things that I didn't like about the film. And believe me, there aren't many. That's for sure. One of the things that bothered me about the film was the shaky cam in some of the scenes, especially when one of the girls is running away from Winnie the Pooh. There was a lot of shaky cam, and that it gets to me sometimes as far as like making me sick to my stomach. One of the other problems I found, although it didn't really bother me that much, but it is a little teeny bit of a con, is the fact that Pooh's mouth has very little mobility. I did notice that it did not take me out of the film. There is kind of a interesting reason for that, but I don't want to spoil anything. And the last thing is there's something that happens at the end of the film, which I also do not want to spoil. It is not clear. There's an audio part, and I'm doing my best not to spoil anything. There's an audio part at the end that is very hard to hear. So I'll leave it at that. People that have seen it probably know what I'm talking about, but that is just so everyone thinks it's fair. Not that that should be a problem. Okay, now we're going to start on a positive spin for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I absolutely loved the opening. It was very nostalgic for me. It opened up like a storybook. There was like a kind of a cartoon drawing, and I like the primitive cartoon that was drawn. This also pops up in one other scene that I'll get to in a few minutes. But I just thought that it was very classy the way it was done. It explains what you're now watching. It explains what happened to the animals, how they kind of turned feral, and their relationship now with Christopher Robin. I thought the acting and a lot of these things were surprising to me because this film currently has a 3.0 on IMDb, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. I've seen a lot of movies that have 3.0s that don't deserve it, but are closer to deserving it than this one, and it just blows my mind. So, one of the things I was really surprised about was the acting. It really surprised me on how good the acting was. Now, this is a British film, so you have an accent, but it all was done very competently. I love the setting. Absolutely love the 100-acre wood. I like that the colors are washed out in the beginning during the daylight. It definitely sets kind of a gloomy mood for the piece. Now, at night, they get a little bit more vivid, but during the daytime in the beginning, the colors are very washed out. Much like, how do I explain this? If you read an old Winnie the Pooh storybook, you notice that the colors don't necessarily pop, that they're a little understated, and it's drawn very minimalistically. if that makes sense. So, anyway, the special effects, including the gore, are done extremely well. There is a pretty decent body count in this film. The lighting is amazing, and you'll hear me talk about that more throughout this video. The lighting impressed me so much. When they cut from Christopher Robin to the cartoon in the beginning of the film, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a little cartoon that kind of sets up for the beginning credits. And I thought that that was done extremely well. I mean, I've heard people say that this has no production value. I do not understand at all. The score is amazing. I was completely locked in. And a lot of times, if scores are appropriate for a film, it's not that I don't notice them, it's just that I don't necessarily go out of my way to say anything about the score. But the score in this film was really done well. So props for that. I also like in the beginning in the credits how they kind of play it off as like a Bigfoot encounter, which just kind of made me laugh a little bit. I thought that was pretty neat. I love the overhead shots of the woods, the 100-acre wood. I thought that was done really well. And again, the colors aren't quite as washed out when you get into the film a little bit more. It just has that gloomy atmosphere in the beginning. Okay, I like the sign of the woods, how it was the site of the woods, the 100-acre wood, how it's kind of dilapidated since Christopher Robin kind of left and did his own thing. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm trying my best not to. All right. The lighting, the lighting, the lighting. There are so many scenes in this movie that I would love to have a poster of because they're just so ominous looking. And I don't know who did the lighting as far as this film, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, because I didn't really research it. I probably should have. But he did an amazing, or she, whoever did it, did an amazing job. I like the fact that they were killing for a reason. And that kind of also goes into my next thing that I really enjoy about the film. They also kept Christopher Robin alive. That's a little bit of a spoiler, which I kind of didn't want to talk about, but that kind of goes to the fact of what I'm talking about is there was a reason for killing. I really liked that they had a reason, and I thought that a lot of thought went into this film as far as things that happened in the film because it would have been easy just to make a slasher movie with um, some of the characters from Winnie the Pooh and just have them knock off people one by one. Granted, I probably still would have enjoyed it and been entertained by it, but the fact that they took the time to really flesh out the story, I was really impressed by it. Um, as I said, they kept Robin alive. They wanted to make him suffer like he made them suffer, and I thought that was really interesting, an interesting part of the film. I'm just going to say the redhead and leave it at that. People who have seen the movie will understand. Again, there is great gore in the movie. I love the house that the girls, I guess, rent for their vacation. It's really a really cool house, and it has an indoor pool and everything like that, which sets up my next positive for the film. The pool scene is amazing. I don't want to spoil it, but it's really cool. I also like the chanting in the score. I thought the chanting in the score was very appropriate. I didn't I was a little thrown off at first because I really enjoyed the score, but I really enjoyed the chanting in the score. I thought it was neat. Again, this has a 3.0 on IMDb. I don't understand this at all. I had made this statement once before, I think when I first got the film from Joe. People really enjoyed the Banana Splits movie, and I don't understand why this is hated on. I thought this was as good, if not better, than the Banana Splits movie. But then again, of course, that's my opinion. And I'm going to end with this last bit of positivity, which the last kill is definitely significant, and it's it's awesome. A lot of people already know that that the sequel has already been greenlit. Um, some of the people who reviewed the actual film itself when they first saw it will remain nameless, but they accused another YouTuber of um, gatekeeping, while actually gatekeeping themselves and saying how no one should go see it, no one should give this man their money. This movie needs to go straight to hell, so on and so forth, which I thought was really interesting. And it actually made me want to see the film even more, so thank you for that. And it boggles my mind the hypocrisy of some people. So, yeah. This was a hard one to understand. I really enjoyed this. I don't understand why horror fans aren't embracing this a little bit more. Um, Everybody has their own taste. I get it. But to me, this is the type of movie I want to see as a horror fan. But that's just me. And that's been my positive spin on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Have you seen it? Do you disagree? Definitely comment below and let me know. And don't forget to check out Joe's positive spin on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. And don't forget, guys, physical media matters. This, as of right now, does not have a US release, and I don't understand why. But physical media matters, so don't give it to us, we'll get it somehow. And until next time, peace.